Don't fall all over yourself trying to convince and come up with this amazing theory. You and I as Muslims, we do what we do because Allah said so, and we don't do what we don't do because Allah Azza wa Jal said so. He knows what I don't know. And my job as a Muslim, someone that has submitted completely to Allah, is to follow and to obey. And if I follow and I obey, whether people like it or not, you will find happiness and success in this world and in the hereafter. And you know what I find amazing, my brothers? You know what I find amazing? Is sometimes when you say this to people, nah brother, not me, I have to know. Again, this is a door of shaitan. That look brother, I have to know. Habibi anta wallah, please, Allah da'alak anta ya muhandis, sit down before you hurt yourself. When you accepted Allah in the beginning, you accepted Him to be the all-knowing, true or not? The all-seeing, the all-wise, the all-powerful. So when this Allah sends me something, He says to me, don't do it. I don't need to investigate after. You can, that's fine. There's no problem in you finding out the wisdom behind things. That's fine. But to question Allah, why did Allah, why? Why is Allah doing this? Why did Allah make this halal? Why did Allah make this haram? Habibi, anta, you and I, what position are you in to do that? I'll give you an example. Wallahi, most of us, so that I don't fall in trouble, most of us here now, yeah, when you go to the doctor, does anyone question the doctor? Do you? You don't? Generally speaking, when you and I go to the doctor, you know and I know, Haida, where he's from, where he's been, what he... You have no idea. Wallahi, you got no clue. You go to the doctor, but I don't know, I walked in, the guy's wearing a suit and a tie, he's sitting behind the table, and there was a certificate on the wall, bro. What else do you want from me? What else do you want, brother? I walked in, he was in a suit and a tie, he was sitting on a nice desk, he had a nice pen, and there's a certificate. Where the certificate is from, who signed it, does that university actually exist? You got no idea, nor did you check it, nor did you do your background checks. How come you don't apply your logic here? Why do we pick and choose? Why is it when he came to my health, I went to the doctor, I sat down in front of him, I told him what was wrong with me, and then he scribbled something on a piece of paper. Have you ever seen a doctor's writing? Honestly, wallahi, have you ever seen it? You know, had there not been printed writing on, you would know what's the bottom and what's the top. You got no idea. It's a scribble. And he prescribes something to you, you have no idea what he's talking about. He's explaining it, but you're like, yeah. And you're doing whatever, you're doing your absolute best to not look like a fool in front of him. But you got no idea what he's on about, bro. And he's trying to tell you, and he's trying to... Then he writes a prescription, you take that prescription, and then as you're leaving and you're going to the pharmacy, wallahi, you're looking at this paper because you got no idea. But you're all right with it. You're all right with it. You're all right with it. The guy's a doctor. Allah, you should have seen his tie. Then you walk into the pharmacy, wallah, and the only guy that's better than the doctor for me is the pharmacist. Because you know and I know, the only thing that convinces you he's a pharmacist is what? Is the white shirt. If the guy serving you isn't wearing one, tell him, brother, please, can you call the guy in the back? Then he comes, he looks at that piece of paper that you've been looking at for half an hour, you got no idea what's going on. He looks at it for barely a moment. Based on what, Habibi? Was a scribble. To what? He goes, he gives you a drug. And he tells you, make sure you take these 3 times a day after a meal, and you take it, and you got no idea. You got no idea. None of us ever looked at the back of the packet and said, but why does it have 0.2 grams of oxamalactose? I don't know what those words are, guys. Well, I got no idea. You don't question. And you take it 3 times a day after your meals. Why? Because the doctor said so. The doctor knows what I don't know. And that if I want to get better, then you need to follow the doctor's orders. Throughout the whole process, you didn't ask a single question. You didn't raise a single eyebrow. from one guy to another, you're putting a foreign object, a drug, down your throat, followed by water, with yaqeen and conviction that this is good for me. But every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to question Allah as to why He did and why He didn't. Yalla, come on, all of us now. Every person has an opinion, and every person wants to question Allah as to why He did and why He didn't. But why is this like that for, brother? Convince me. Convince me, brother. Your argument isn't too convincing. Really? Really? You can't sort your own problems out. If I was to tell you pick a number between 1 and 10, you wouldn't even know from which part of the brain that came from. But you have the audacity to question Allah Azza wa Jal as to why He did and why He didn't. And worse still, you have the audacity of going around promoting that you're a Muslim. Habibi, I don't know what Islam you're talking about. Because going back to the beginning of my talk, that's not Islam. Islam is complete and full submission to Allah. Complete. Allah's not interested in your thoughts and my thoughts. Allah's not interested in your feelings and my feelings. Allah's not interested in the opinion and the flow of what's out on the street, public perception. Habibi, leave that to democracy. That's not to Islam. The deen of Allah is complete. It's not open for negotiation. You want to make up your own rules, fine. But don't call it Islam. Don't twist and play with the deen of Allah to make it, fit your whims and your desires. That's not how it works. That's not Islam. That's your own version of events. Islam is what Allah and His Prophet wants.